Opening with the king's pawn controls the center and opens up the light-squared bishop and queen, often leading to sharp games. The Sicilian defense controls the d4 square with c-pawn. Knight f3 develops the knight toward the center to prepare for a d4 pawn push, where the knight will recapture if black captures on d4. d6 opens up the light-squared bishop and prevents white from pushing the pawn to e5 after black eventually plays knight f6. d4 offers to trade the d-pawn for the c-pawn, giving up a center pawn for more active pieces. C takes d4 gives black 2 central pawns versus 1 central pawn for white. Knight takes d4 recaptures the pawn and activates the knight in return for having 1 central pawn versus black's 2 central pawns. Knight f6 develops the knight toward the center and attacks the undefended e4 pawn. f3 defends the e4 pawn and stops the black pieces from coming to g4. e5 takes space in the center, attacks the knight on d4, and allows the dark-squared bishop to develop. Knight b3 retreats the attacked knight to a queenside square where it controls the c5 and d4 squares. Good job bringing your bishop out early to build a solid position. Textbook play so far. Solid. Continuing with standard opening theory. White develops the bishop and attacks the center. The knight is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. This moves the knight to safety. Castling gets the king out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. This defends a vulnerable pawn by pinning one of its attackers. Out comes the queen and into the battle. This overlooks a better way to develop a knight off its starting square. The bishop moves forward into the game. Solid choice in the opening. This mobilizes the knight, allowing it to control more of the board. Castling to the same side of the board is a more cautious approach. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. With the rook now developed as well, white has all pieces ready for action. The piece finds a new active square. This forces the opponent to isolate a pawn. This is the only move that works. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This threatens to win material through a fork. This stops the opponent from being able to win material through a fork. This is not the right idea. That's fine. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This misses an opportunity to win a tempo by threatening a knight. White's piece has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This creates luft for the king, providing it an escape square. One of the best moves. This is the strongest option. This is a fair move. This overlooks a better way to defend a pawn that was under attack. Advancing the pawns in front of the king can compromise the king's safety. This misses an opportunity to offer an equal trade of pieces. This allows the opponent to win a tempo by threatening a rook. This moves the bishop to a more active square, making it gain scope. The piece finds a new active square. This threatens to win material through a tactic. This moves the rook to safety. This attacks a rook, winning a tempo when it moves away. This moves the rook to safety. This threatens to win material through a tactic. That's an unfortunate error. This missed an opportunity to punish a mistake. There were worse moves, but also something much better. White's piece has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This permits the opponent to eventually win a pawn. That was a free pawn. This wins a bishop. This misses an opportunity to move a bishop to safety. Recaptures. Right on target. Takes back. This misses an opportunity to capture a free pawn. Very precise. This is an equal trade. Recaptures. White's piece claims an outpost, adding pressure with tempo. This overlooks an opportunity to add a defender to a vulnerable pawn. This permits the opponent to win a tempo by threatening a queen. White will be winning material with that fork. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. Capturing that rook wins material. Takes back. A very strong play. Black's bishop has moved to a square with greater activity and control. A solid choice. The game was close to balanced, but now black is worse. This move puts the pawn on a safer square. That's fine. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This threatens to force eventual checkmate. This misses a better way to block an attack on a vulnerable queen. This move puts the rook on a safer square. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This move puts the rook on a safer square. One of the best moves. White was better off, but now their position is winning. The piece finds a new active square. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This is the way to win a pawn. This moves the queen to safety. This challenges the other rook for control of the open file. The rook is now on an open file, which helps control squares across the board. Taking that pawn wins material after the follow-up trades are made. A very strong play. This evades the check from the rook. This misses an opportunity to threaten checkmate. This prevents the opponent from being able to play checkmate. This misses an opportunity to block a check from the opposing rook. This allows the opponent to sacrifice a queen for a nice tactic. The queen was sacrificed for checkmate. A brilliant move.